Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dari Sodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Sri Radhe. Jaya Khoda Nitai Jaya Mayapura Sasi Jaya Khoda Nitai Jaya Mayapura Sasi. Jaya Giridhari Lal Jaya Shitula Sina Jaya Giridhari Lal Jaya Shitula Sina. Jaya Narasimha Dev Jaya Narasimha Dev Jaya Narasimha Dev Jaya Narasimha Dev. Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Srila Prabhupada. Вы посмотрите Bhagavatam or some book before Bhagavatam? And from the business. Guaranteed success. What magic there is in setting out into the vast, unpredictable world to carry out the order of one's guru. A disciple of such a mission becomes fearless because he or she knows that success is already guaranteed simply by setting out. Since life in the material world is fraught with challenges, the devotees who catch hold of their guru's order and face all challenges as opportunity to prove their devotion meet with uncanny success. How could it be otherwise? Even before Srila Prabhupada joined to America, the methodical way in which he carried out his Guru's order brought unanticipated sources time and again. In New Delhi, he sold 18 sets of his newly published first canto to the Asquithans librarian at Library of Congress office, the National Library of the United States. The library's representative in Delhi also agreed to buy future volumes and then dispatched some of the 3-volume set to America, one of which ended up in the New York Public Library a year before Srila Prabhupada's own arrival in America. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Just okay. Today is also Narahari Sarkar Thakura disappearance day, so we will read a little to glorify this personality. Before meeting Mahaprabhu, Narahari had written many Sanskrit and Bengali songs about the Vrajarasa of Radha Giridhari. Later, he and Gadadhara Pandita always stayed with Lord Chaitanya. Narahari used to please the Lord by waving a chamara or a peacock fan. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Gaurarati song glorifies his Narahari Adikori Chamara Dhulaya. Narahari Sarakara family was the pride of the Vaishnavas. By the influence of all the people in Shikhanda became Vaishnavas. The entire village turned into a branch of the desire tree of love of God. Since the time of Lord Gaurachandra, Shikhanda has been a preaching center for Gaudiya Vaishnavism. One day, Shinitananda Prabhu came to Shikhanda and asked Narahari, "All right, we know who you are. So where is the honey?" By his mystic power, Narahari turned a pot of water into super sweet honey for the Lord's pleasure. Narahari served Lord Shyamasundara in Vraja Lila as Madhumati, a Pranasakhi who supplies mouth-watering honey for Radha Damodara and their dear ones. Narahari Sarakara's books, Padakalpataru and Krishna Bhajanamrita, include wonderful songs praising Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. Shilochandas Thakur and many others were disciples of Narahari Sarakara Thakura. Though not accessible, his samadhi is in Radhakunda. Shriman Narahari Sarakara Thakura ki jai. Thank you, Prabhu. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram cheva narottamam Devim sarasvatim vyasam Tato jaya mudirayet. We are reading today from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 4, texts 35 and 36. Yam sadhu gatha sadasi 35 first. Yam sadhu gatha sadasi Ripavopi suran ripa Pratimanam prakurvanti Kimutanye bhavadrishah Yam sadugatha sadasi Ripavopi suran ripa Pratimanam prakurvanti Kimutanye bhavadrishah. Yam sadugatha sadasi Ripavopi suran ripa Pratimanam Kimutanye bhavadrisha Yam sadugatha sadasi Ripavopi suran ripa Pratimanam prakurvanti Kimutanye bhavadrisha. Yam sadugatha sadasi Ripavopi suran ripa Pratimanam prakurvanti Kimutanye Yam hum Sadhugatha sadasi. In assembly where saintly persons gather, or exalted characteristics are discussed. Ripava, persons who were supposed to have been Prahlad Maharaja's enemies. Even such a devotee as Prahlad Maharaja had enemies, including even his own father. Api, even Suraha, the demigods. The demigods are enemies of the demons, and since Prahlad Maharaja was born in family of demons, the demigods should have been his enemies. Dripa, O King Yudhishthira, Pratimanam, a substantial example of the best among the devotees. Prakurvanti, they make. Kim Uta, what to speak of. Anye, others. Bhava Drishach, exalted personalities such as yourself. Translation. In any assembly where there are discourses about saints and devotees, O King Yudhishthira, even the enemies of the demons, namely the demigods, what to speak of you, would cite Prahlad Maharaja as an example of a great devotee. Gunah alam asankyer mahatmyam tasya suchyate vasudeve bhagavate yasyane sargiki rate. Who could list the innumerable transcendental qualities of Prahlad Maharaja? He had unflinching faith in Vasudeva, Lord Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, and unalloyed devotion to him. His attachment to Lord Krishna was natural because of his previous devotional service. Although his good qualities cannot be enumerated, they prove that he was a great soul, Mahatma. Purport, His Divine Grace, Abhay Charan Bhaktivedanta Swami Shilrupada ki. In his prayers to the 10 incarnations, Jayadev Goswami says, Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare. Prahlad Maharaja was a devotee of Lord Nrsimha, who is Keshava, Krishna himself. Therefore, when this verse says Vasudeva Bhagavati, one should understand that Prahlad Maharaja's attachment for Nrsimhadeva was attachment for Krishna, Vasudeva, the son of Vasudeva. Prahlad Maharaja, therefore, is described as a great Mahatma, as the Lord himself confirms in Bhagavad Gita 7:19. Bahanam janmanamante gyanavan mam prapadhite vasudeva sarvamati samahatma sudurlabha. After many birth and death, he who is actually is knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes, and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. A great devotee of Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, is a great soul, very rarely to be found. Prahlad Maharaja's attachment for Krishna will be explained in the next verse. Krishna graha grahitatma. Prahlad Maharaja's heart was always filled with thoughts of Krishna. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaja is the ideal devotee in Krishna consciousness. Om Gina Timrandasya Ginanjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupah Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Chita Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhana Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Mukam Karoti Vachalam Kripatam Hamandeshi Gurunjyantaranam. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. It's my greatest pleasure to spend such a wonderful Ekadashi morning in your association. Today we are glorifying Shri Prahlad Maharaj. And as it mentioned in these verses, we should glorify Prahlad Maharaj every time we assemble together. Every time when devotees are together, they should glorify Prahlad Maharaj and his qualities, his pastimes, because he was pure devotee. He's a pure devotee. And there are a lot of interesting points in these verses in purport, but we need to start from somewhere. Okay, so Prahlad Maharaj. First interesting point I would like to mention that Prahlad Maharaja was a devotee of Lord Nrsimha, who is Keshava, Krishna himself. In this verse says Vasudeva Bhagavati. Prahlad Maharaj, we know, from the beginning of his life, from his childhood, he was a pure devotee. He received these instructions from Narada Muni when he was in the womb of his mother, and from his childhood he was attached only to Krishna. He never played with other kids. He just was completely absorbed from Krishna. We know there's like Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, so 9 processes of devotional service, and like Shravanam, Kirtanam, this is personalities who personify these processes are Maharaja Parikshita and Shukadeva Goswami, and Prahlad Maharaj, his personification of Smaranam, like remembrance of Krishna. And Prahlad Maharaj, so he was always absorbed in Krishna. And but the interesting point is he became a pure devotee. He became a devotee even before he gave this instruction from Narada Muni. Maybe you remember the story. In his previous life, Prahlad Maharaja, his name actually was Vasudeva. So in this verse, names like Vasudeva Bhagavati. So Prahlad Maharaj was always absorbed, remembering Vasudeva, but his previous life, Prahlad Maharaj's name was Vasudeva. I forgot the name of his father. Maybe someone remember. Anyway, his father, he had 5 sons, and one of them was Vasudeva. And actually, that Vasudeva, he wasn't a very nice person. I mean, he drank a lot. He was like a drunkard. And also, how to say it? He liked, some kind of illicit sex with prostitute. But one particular day, he spent, he had argued with this prostitute. They argued each other, and because of that, they fasted the whole day, and they didn't sleep the whole night. And that particular day was Narasimha Chaturdashi. So, and just because of this little devotional service, even in his previous life, he performed some sinful activities, but just they didn't even know, that day was Narasimha Chaturdashi. It was just, accident. It so happened they argue each other on Narasimha Chaturdashi, and because of they argue each other, they fasted the whole day. And the day was Narasimha Chaturdashi. So yes, that's it. Next life, Prahlad Maharaj. And this prostitute, she took birth as Apsara on some heavenly planets, and after that life also came back to spiritual world. So today is Ekadashi. We can also fast it. Now we have this inspiration. So Prahlad Maharaj, pure devotee. And yes, and just a little Svalpam Pyasa Dharmasya Trayate Mahatobayat. If we perform a little devotion service, just a little, we never lose it. Never lose it. The only way to lose your devotion service is criticize devotees. So if you're wise enough, stop criticizing devotees and perform your devotional service. Devotional service is a very simple process. We have discussion with my friends, and he just told, if you want to have taste in devotional service, it is very simple. It's quite simple. In just three, 3 points to be there. And he told, like, first of all, it's supposed to be some ritual. You know, we may, as now, we couple together, we read in Bhagavatam, and or we chanted Hare Krishna in a kirtan or in our japa, or we distribute books, or cook prasadam, cut vegetables, whatever. We can also arrange translation on YouTube. Now Krishna is accepting this kind of devotional service, you know. And but this is just one point. So ritual, one point is ritual. Another is our like motivation, our desire to please Krishna. So we're supposed to have the desire to please the Lord with our service. And also, the third one is to be, to be in the mood of servant. Like, I'm sitting now here, and it's not about like, I'm sitting devotee and I'm giving Krishna Katha. No, I'm just a servant of Shimanishan Prabhu who asked me to give class. And he's a servant of Prabhupada Prabhu who engaged him in this service, you know, so just dasa and dasaha. So if we have this, you know, we just follow these 3 principles, you know, in our service, it is not like after 10 years of this practice, we will feel some pleasure in our heart immediately. Just this particular moment, you know, that's the way to bring the taste in our spiritual practice. Just to have these 3 points, you know, to be in the right mood, to take right position, and to perform some, some right ritual. That's it. Immediately, just 3 very simple points. Even people in Kali Yuga can remember how to practice devotional spiritual life. That's the point. Prahlada Maharaja, devotee of Lord Nrsimha, who is Kesha, Krishna himself, yes. Actually, the next verse is wonderful, but I should have left it for other person who will read it tomorrow. But Prahlada Maharaj is a valid example of a great person, fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness. You know, Prahlada Maharaj, his devotion, this quality of devotees. Also, this may be one more point I would like to discuss today. Devotees, there is one very nice verse in Srimad Bhagavatam also. Srila Pada mentioned it a lot of times. Yasyasti bhaktar bhagavata kinchana tatrair gunasama satay surah. In this verse, it is described that all the good qualities are maintained in the heart of devotees. But at the same time, non-devotees, they have no any good qualities. It sounds okay in English? Yeah. So devotees, nowadays, sometimes we can see like some persons, they can show their good qualities as a volunteers, as a, I don't know, in some situations, people show their good qualities, which is good. Actually, yes, this is good. But at the same time, you know, their good qualities are completely dependent on the situation. It may be some nice person, but when this person, I don't know, for example, fasting for the whole day, he became very angry. You know, he stopped to showing his good qualities. Usually, that's what we see. And you know, sometimes people, you know, they have maybe, I don't know, good material position. They have enough money. They may think they are very good personalities, but just the moment the problem start in their life and in material world, it is usually happen. You know, even if you live in the UK, in this like country with developed economy, and People have a lot of money, but people still struggling. And so this material position is always temporary, and this happiness in material life, it exists, but it is temporary happiness. So when some problem comes, usually people stop to show their good qualities, and they become like, anger. Shishi Kodintama Prashasha Bhagavan ki. They're so extremely beautiful today. People usually stop to show their good qualities when the problem comes, and so that is why it is explained that there is no in fact, there is no good qualities in the people who are not devotees, because the difference between devotees, real devotees, and common people is that devotees show their good qualities in any time, with any circumstances, no matter what. And Prahlad Maharaj is an example of this. So why it is? Because all the good qualities came from one quality, and this quality is devotion to the Lord. So everything else is emanated from this one quality. This is the main quality. If there is devotion, all the good qualities will, how to say it, after some time they will, appear in the heart of the devotee, and he will start to show this. But if the foundation of these good qualities are not devotion to the Lord, all these good qualities will just went away in another moment. We can find a lot of examples in the Shastras also, like, for example, Kamsa. Kamsa also, he was chariot on the wedding of his sister. So when Vasudeva and Devaki, they get married, Kamsa was a chariot. He would like to serve his sister, and he was like, yes, my dear sister, I love you so much. Let me be a chariot, and on the wedding, it was such a happy day. So Kamsa showed his good qualities, but the very next moment, this voice came from the sky, Kamsa, you're a fool. Now you're taking care of your sister Devaki, but at the same time, her son will kill you. Immediately, all his good qualities just passed away. He just took his sword and he was going to kill his sister, and that's what usually happens. We want to be like, I'm a good person. People in this material world, they actually, I'm like this feeling, I'm good. I'm really a good person, I want to do something good, even if they do something wrong. I remember, it was my experience when the war came to Ukraine, and these Russian soldiers, they come to your home and they put gun upon you, and don't be afraid. Now we will kill all these Ukrainian Nazis, and you will be able to come back home, like this. Or so, and they really believe they're doing something good. They're in this mood that, oh yes, I'm a savior. I come there to release these people. They want to believe they're doing something good. That's what usually happens in this material world. People usually they like this idea that I'm a savior. I am a hero. I am doing something good. People, how to say, they think they're very spiritual, and at the same time they eat animals, slaughterhouses. How is it possible? I remember this dialogue between Srila Prabhupada and this priest, Catholic priest in France. Maybe you remember, I forgot his name. It happened in Paris, so it was some kind of, top of Catholic Church. He took top position in Catholic Church, and so they had some very nice conversation, about philosophy, and everything was like, okay. They found some, some good points which is related among Vaishnavism and Catholicism, and it was a very nice conversation. And then Prabhupada just asked, And why killing animals? Prabhupada just bring him to this point. Like, okay, you're Christian. Philosophy is wonderful. It's actually Vaishnavism, by philosophy. But at the same time, why are you eating animals? Why are you killing animals? Why didn't follow? It is said in Bible, like, don't kill. So why are you killing animals? Yes, so we can bring back, so people usually they like, oh, I'm a very good person, I'm a volunteer, I'm whatever, but at the same time, if there is no devotion, all these qualities are temporary. But Prahlada Maharaj's qualities were real one, and yeah, the very nice explanation of this we can find in the next verse, and they're like related with this verse, but I don't know if you can read a little of it or not. Maybe I can pause right now, and you would like to add something, or we can arrange some kind of discussion. If there are anything you would like to point to Prabhu about this. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. I would like to read actually next verse and next purport, because it will be preparation for tomorrow. From very beginning of his childhood, Prahlada Maharaja was uninterested in childish playthings. Indeed, he gave them up all together and remained silent and dull. Being fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness, since his mind was always affected by Krishna consciousness, he couldn't understand how the world goes on being fully absorbed in the activities of sense gratification. Purport. Prahlada Maharaja is a vivid example of a great person fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness. In Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 8-174, it is said, Sthavara jangama dekhena dekhtara murti sarvatra hayanicha ishtadeva spurti. A fully Krishna conscious person, although situated in this material world, doesn't see anything but Krishna, anywhere and everywhere. This is the site of a Mahabhagavata. The Mahabhagavata sees Krishna everywhere because his attitude of pure love for Krishna. As confirmed in the Brahma Samhita 538, Pramanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santak sadeva hridayesha vilokayanti yam shyama sundaram achintya gunasvarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I worship the primeval Lord, Govinda, who is always seen by the devotees, whose eyes are anointed with the pulp of life. He is seen in his eternal form of Shyama Sundar, situated within the heart of the devotees. An exalted devotee, or Mahatma, who is rarely to be seen, remains fully conscious of Krishna and constantly sees the Lord within the core of his heart. It is sometimes said that when one is influenced by evil stars like Saturn, Rahu, or Ketu, he cannot make advancement in any prospective activity. In just the opposite way, Prahlada Maharaja was influenced by Krishna, the supreme planet, and thus he couldn't think of material world and live without Krishna consciousness. That is the sign of a Mahabhagavata. Even if one is an enemy of Krishna, a Mahabhagavata sees him to be able to engage in Krishna service. Another cruel example is that everything appears yellow to the jaundiced eye. Similar to Mahabhagavata, everyone but himself appears to be engaged in Krishna's service. Prahlada Maharaja is approved Mahabhagavata, the supreme devotee. In the previous verse, it was stated that he had natural attachment, naisargika rati. The symptoms of such natural attachment for Krishna are described in this verse. Although Prahlad Maharaja was only a boy, he had no interest in playing. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 11:42, Viraktir Anyatracha, the symptoms of perfect Krishna consciousness is that one loses interest in all material activities. For a small boy to give up playing is impossible, but Prahlad Maharaja, being situated in first-class devotional service, was always absorbed in a trance of Krishna consciousness. Just as a materialistic person is always absorbed in thoughts of material gain, a Mahabhagavata like Prahlad Maharaja is always absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. So, as mentioned already, like Prahlad Maharaja is personification of Smaranam, of the process of Smaranam. Prahlad Maharaja was always absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. And why is this? Because he had this Naisargika Ratih. Naisargika Ratih is a level of devotional service which just came just before Krishna Prem, So this very high level of devotional service. And so that's why Prahlad Maharaja, he always remembers Krishna. And obviously it's happened by the nurse of Shrimad Narada Muni and by his little devotional service he performed in his past life. At the same time, we can see how he maintained this consciousness, this proper consciousness in Krishna service. Prahlad Maharaja, by remembering Krishna, and what is the best way to remember Krishna is to preach about Krishna. When Shripada gave this explanation of pure devotional service, actually he mentioned this word man mana bhava man bhakto madhyajima mamaskaru, which means man mana bhava man bhakto, you should always remember Krishna. And then Shripada explained, like, the best way to remember Krishna is to preach. When we prepare for the class or discuss something with devotees or with common people, no matter. But this is the best way to remember Krishna. There's like difference between when you have to prepare for the class, at least you have to read it once. You have to think about this verse, for some time, and then when you're giving class, you should put your attention for this verse, So this is a very good way to remember of Krishna. And that's why, like Shripada, he engages in the spiritual movement, not because we are already like pure devotees and we are ready to, with all compassion, to distribute this knowledge to common people. No, this is only the process which can engage us, our nature, that we will be able to remember Krishna in better way, in a more deep way. And so it will brings like some spiritual progress in our life, and also it helps other people. So this is the perfection of Sankirtana, When we preach, we put all this, Krishna Katha through our heart, and describe it for other people. This is the best way for our Krishna consciousness. That is why Shripada was so eager to engage devotees in preaching service. That's why we're actually like preaching movement. And if you see for like, usually the best devotees, most advanced devotees, they have spend some part of their life by translating Prabhupada's books, by translating, lectures, Prabhupada's lectures, or some kind of this. So because just to translate something, you need first to listen and then to repeat. And this, usually the interpreter is the best person who's supposed to listen to class very attentively. At least one person in the audience, because usually everyone is just fall asleep. But interpreter, if there is an interpreter, he should listen for what speaker says, and then he should translate. This is the best position, That's our position in this movement, just to engage our mind, engage our consciousness, and the best way to do so is to preach. That's what we're doing in December marathon. While when we go outside with the books, it's, if you want to distribute books, the only way to do so to pray to Krishna, otherwise it's impossible even to stop people. It's not about some material qualification. So why this process is so good for our spiritual life again, when you distribute books, you just go outside, and you just offer these books for other people. And maybe sometimes you need to preach, yes, to describe what are these books about. At the same time, during the whole this process, if you really want to stop someone to offer him book, you need to pray to Krishna. Otherwise, no one will stop. Never. We have a joke in Ukraine, like if you want to be to have some siddhis, to become invisible. This in Harry Potter, cloak of invisibility cloak. Some kind of. If you want to be invisible, just take Prabhupada's books and go outside. No one will just even people just crossing you, like you're not existing. You're like I don't know. They cannot see you if you just come with the books. And then you should start pray, dear Lord, please let me serve you. Let me bring these books for the people who need this. And then people stop. So Krishna sent these people just to protect his devotees. So what I mean, yes, so this process of smaranam, which Prahlada Maharaj is personified, is also very important in our spiritual life, and the best way to do so is preach. Okay, is there any comments or questions? Maybe. Okay, thank you very much for your association. Granth Rashvan Bhagavatam ki Shila Prabhupada Patita Pavana ki Jai Gaura Premananda.